started out at St Albans Football Club at the age of 15 and had 3 years under 15s, and then I had a couple of years of under 18s. And a mate of mine said, why don't you come down to Geelong under 19s and train and have a crack at the Geelong Football Club. I was a bit reluctant at first, but I thought, oh, well, why not? It's another stepping stone in a football career. So I went down to training. That year I managed to play enough qualifying games to play in the finals of Geelong under 19s. Played off in the grand final that year against Richmond. The following year I fronted back up for pre-season with the under 19s. Played first game of the year, played one game. The second game of the year, 1971, I was named in the senior side, playing against South Melbourne at Lake Oval. And I had 5 games that year in 71, 5 games in 72. 1973, I played the whole season in the reserves, and I was sort of looking at developing my career. I just felt that I was just floundering a bit in the reserves. Come over to Geelong West a couple of Sunday afternoons and watched the VFA, and got pretty excited about the standard of football, and I knew some players over here, so I had a chat to them. And I think from that moment on, I just wanted to come over and play with Geelong West in the VFA. So 74, I come over to Geelong West. I had a bit of a problem getting a clearance. Geelong were reluctant to give me a clearance. And I think at that stage I said, well, I'm a bit disillusioned down Geelong. If I don't get a clearance, I'll stand out of football. And the hard work of Billy Goggin and Robert Gannon, Geelong eventually gave me a clearance. And I think football-wise, my career-wise, was one of the best things I'd done. I just enjoyed football over here at Geelong West. I played until about 1977, and because of work commitments I had to sort of back out of football a bit, unfortunately, but came back and played a few games over at East Geelong in the Geelong District League, and eventually came back to Geelong West in about 1986, assistant coach to Alan Dizzy Lynch. As a footballer, I think I describe myself as I was blessed with a bit of height and some pace, and I like to think that people would see me as a committed sort of a footballer. I felt I was always hard at the ball, and I hope that's what people perceive me to be, a strong defender. I played 10 games of league football at Geelong and enjoyed that experience. But it was during the 1973 season I just felt a little bit disillusioned. I just really couldn't crack a senior game. And during that latter part of 1973, I had a conversation with Billy Goggin. And it was interesting with Billy Goggin talking about VFA football and where he wanted to take Geelong West Football Club. And I thought, he's got that positive attitude. He would like me to be part of it. And that really inspired me then to come and have a go at VFA football. And I think too, it was just Billy's leadership qualities and the way he spoke and his overall goal. I thought, I want to come over to Geelong West, and maybe things would have been different if it had been somebody different to Billy Goggin that didn't have the same ambitions and same football knowledge. Maybe things might have been a lot different. Maybe I hadn't made that choice to come to Geelong West. The Geelong West Football Club means everything to me, and I think to every player that's probably played with the Geelong West Football Club. The years of 1974, 75, and more so 75, we had a great camaraderie. The players, we mixed well off the field, on the field, wherever we went. We're just a good group of people. The days where we come here to play Port Melbourne and you run out on the ground, so you walk out into the club rooms and you can see the crowd building up. You run out onto the ground and you see the ground just packed with people sitting in the trees, hanging over fences, sitting on veranda roofs. The ground was just packed, and the atmosphere here was just amazing for the Sunday afternoon, and that was with a direct telecast from Channel O. Playing out there on the field, I played centre half back in the 75 era. We had such a great rapport with each other. The back line, we knew each other's game. We had confidence in each other. And in doing that, it just gave us just that little bit more leeway to play our own game. And we knew that if we went forward as a half-back flanker, we went forward, we had coverage, the back line would come up and cover our man. So it just gave us all that confidence to help us express our own football. And that meant so much to us. We were just a great bunch of guys. Some of the things you've seen in the forward line, Jared, such an accurate kick, and Greg Wells will get the ball and just snap those goals. It was just a great era, and to me, that fulfilled my football career. I only ever played in one grand final, and proud to say that was with Geelong West Football Club. Some of the attributes about Geelong West were some of the players you had the opportunity to play with, and a good mate of mine, Tony Gilmore, number 24, played in the centre here at Geelong West. One of the best footballers I think I ever had the privilege to play with and probably have watched. He was just a complete footballer. He had a football brain. He was courageous. He was a team player. Went about his job. Did everything that was asked of him, and Tony Gilmore was one that he was a targeted player. The opposition, if they felt if they could put Tony Gilmore off his game, they could take 40 possessions out of Geelong West team. They had a chance, but Tony Gilmore, very rarely would he give him that opportunity. He was an elusive, skillful footballer. Put his head over the ball, no matter where it was, he'd go and get the ball. Sometimes he would struggle to get to his feet, but Tony always managed to get to his feet and continue on and still be best on the ground. I admire his courage. I know coming out of centre half back, and you look down the field, there was the open paddocks, and Tony Gilmore would always be there making position, and then the ball would go in the forward line. It was just, Tony was so important to our team. He was that link man, but he was an inspiration. Unfortunately, at the moment, Tony is in a nursing home on the Gold Coast, not sharing the best of health, but I know Tony, all of us at Geelong West, mate, wish you all the best. One of the hardest opponents I've played on was Mick Irwin from Port Melbourne. Very elusive, but he had a good background in the VFL back in that era. He was very elusive, strong, solid sort of a player. And yeah, you knew that you were in for a game when you played on Mick Irwin. One of the toughest players and hardest players I think I had to play on was Ray Orchard from Dandenong. Big strong fella, had a strong mark, had a good, strong, powerful left foot. Although he wasn't probably blessed with a lot of pace or that sort of thing, I just felt that every time I had to play against Ray Orchard, I knew I had to be on my game, because you give him a minute and he's gone. And in the grand final, when we played Dandenong in the 75 grand final, Bill had a word to me and he said, I don't care if you don't get a kick, I just want you to stop Ray Orchard that day. And that's what it was like. We knew he was a dangerous player, and that's what I had to do. I just had to try and cut him out of the game. So he was one of the toughest players I had to play on. Yeah, VFA standard in that era, it was tough football. There were some strong, tough, hard players. You stepped over that white line, you had to expect the unexpected. And that was probably typified in the 75 grand final. It was a hard, tough, brutal game, and there's a couple of brave acts with Howard Smith. He was hit from behind and had a broken jaw, and that was, I think that might have even been in the first quarter. And Howard played for the rest of the game. They had his jaw bandaged up the best they could, and he played on. And when you have something like that happening in your team, that's just got to motivate you and inspire you to keep going and try and overcome adversity. And I know in the forward line there were some big brawls happening in the forward line, and it might have been John Hughes and Greg Wells. They copped a lot. But that's what we expected in VFA football. That's what VFA football was all about. It was good, hard, tough, aggressive football. And I wouldn't back away from it for a moment, because it's given me so much enjoyment to be part of the great Geelong West Football Club.
You've given your heart to get here and your soul to get it right. You can take 'em boots and all, but it's sure gonna take a fight. When you spend all week getting to your peak, you're gonna have your say. You bet.